Well, we're back, and it feels awesome to be back here. So let's not waste any time. Got a brand new episode of Finding America. Well, it's great to see you here on my channel. And before we get started with this new episode, I really wanted to take the time to thank you all so much for those amazing and kind comments you left. Was able to deal with the family emergency. Things are a lot better now. And was able to get out detecting a couple times. But before we got into all that, I wanted to thank you so much. It was really nice that y'all took so much of your time to leave me a comment of support. And I just want to let you know it really did help quite a bit. So Chris and I had a bit of a long break. We had a couple weeks, and I tell you what, we were both raring to get out there and dig up some cool stuff. And that's exactly what we did. So on this hunt, well, let me go back just a little bit. You know, the last video, no objection to detection, when we were hunting that courthouse and I got those permissions. You might recall I mentioned getting permissions to hunt 4 Victorian homes. And I went over to check them out, and they were abandoned, empty, and wildly overgrown. But I found out they were going to tear them down. So I headed back a couple weeks after that, and they had scraped the whole lot. It was beautiful, flat, no trash, no overgrowth, and Chris and I couldn't wait to get started. And so we got there pretty early. It was about 90 degrees that day, but we couldn't stay away. We were just itching to go out there. And we had a blast, and we dug up some really cool stuff. And we've been waiting on him to finish clearing it out, and Chris came up with the first signal.
Second hole in. I haven't been here that long. It's a little hard.
That's pretty cool.
But I don't know, almost looks like a shank on it, which is kind of strange.
It does have a little loop on the back.
Yeah.
It's
not heavy.
Yeah, it's got some age to it. Pretty cool find.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see what we get next. Chris called me over. He had the magic word. What do you got?
I got a Rosie. It wasn't deep at all.
Silver?
Yeah, 1960.
Sweet.
Oh, it looks, if I didn't know any better, I'd say it was clad, but...
Yeah, it's definitely got some caked on dirt.
Yeah.
That'll clean up good.
There it goes.
Cool deal.
D.
60D. Well, we'll take that. That's your first coin?
First, no, I got a memorial.
Oh, there you go.
But first silver.
All right. Excellent find.
See if she's got an older brother.
So, I had to call Chris over here because you don't see this every day. They actually scraped the ground. I saw this before I got up to it with the detector. But it looks like a nickel. Check it out, Chris.
Look at that. So you can tell there's a few inches gone from the topsoil.
Yep, and there's a nickel sitting on top of the ground, and I don't know what it is yet. You can see the imprint.
Oh, it's a V, man.
It's a V. Oh my gosh.
1913?
Oh, I hope. I'll take 1885. Check that out. It is absolutely really sweet on the bottom side. I can see 1900.
That's a 1900?
Yeah, and just sitting right on top. There it is. Let's see.
It's going to be one of those days we don't have to dig much.
Well, the ground is very hard, but I didn't have to dig far for this one. Awesome find. I'm going to clean up a little bit and give you a better look and see what year it is. It turns out it is 1905. Sorry for the traffic noise. Right up against the street here. We've got about a city block to hunt here, and not too bad for our first half hour.
No.
So, got about 1905 V nickel. Got a real nice shiny patina on this side, and the other side looks like it'll clean up. I can see the V, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked. That was awesome find. Yeah, my next good target was coming in at about a 1238, and about 4 inches down. Got a kind of a crusty green weedy, and it appears to be 1926. So pretty cool find. Another old coin. Well, it has been a little while till I got a good target, but finally got one, and wasn't a very good number. It was ringing about a 1222, which is in the pull tab range. And I dug down and I got a pretty cool early, I guess it's a early little buckle, but pretty cool. It's got a little crosshatch check pattern there. Well, not too far from the last signal. Got a real screamer. It was a 1246, which is, you start looking for a quarter in the ground, but I don't know what this is. This is how it popped out of the ground. It appears to be some kind of metal. That's pretty cool. I don't think it has. I'm gonna have to brush this off and try to figure out what this is. Pretty awesome looking though. I gave it a quick brush. Pretty cool. It appears to be either a wrestling or a football medal. Looks like this guy is tackling this other guy, or it could be wrestling. I'm just not sure. But I brushed the back off. There wasn't anything on it, but probably some high school medal. But that's really cool. Chris called me over, got another surface find right on top of the ground.
Not a nickel this time, but it's I scratched it off. It's a 1919 Wheatie.
That was right on top of the ground?
Yeah. It's because they kicked it all over. I bet you the thing was 8 inches down at some point. Pretty crusty.
But it's kind of cool. No digging required.
Nah.
Chris got something pretty cool here.
That is heavy brass.
Oh, that's really cool. Wow, so it's looks like a furniture escutcheon, huh?
Yeah, got a cool design, but what's really neat on the back, they hand chiseled, it looks like maybe numbers?
Yeah.
3051 something.
Wow. That is really cool. That's actually really early.
Yeah.
I think that's actually predates these Victorian houses here. They might have had a piece of family furniture in the house.
You can tell it was handmade. It's not even on the sides.
Yeah.
Real cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I'd put that way back. Mid to early 1800s possibly.
Yeah.
Could be even earlier.
Maybe that's a maker's mark. Figure out something on it.
I have no idea. We'll see what we can find out.
Yeah.
Very cool find.
Neat.
Well, I was going to ask Chris, hey, what'd you find? But I don't really need to. Man, that is like huge.
Oh, I wish it wasn't broke.
Yeah, big old glass doorknob.
That is cool.
Wow.
All brass.
Yep.
Square nut.
Little piece left over from the house they just tore down.
These things are gaining popularity again.
Oh, I always liked them.
What do they call that?
Repurposing?
Repurposed, architectural salvage.
Yeah.
That's it. How neat.
Very
That'll
cool.
display neat.
Yep. Well, I just got done popping a 31 Wheatie and I heard Chris call out. And I found one last time we were out, and I guess it's Chris's turn, and this thing looks just as nice as the one I found.
I just stuck it in. You can see the flop I did, and I saw the green patina.
Oh.
Oh yeah, she looks full too. Nope, maybe not.
Yeah, that's all right.
In the bottom.
Very cool.
Oh, that's gonna have. Look, it looks like an Indian penny.
That's beautiful.
See if I get that
nice
out.
green patina, bright green patina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
She's straight.
That's an oldie.
It's one of the favorite relics right there.
Definitely.
So cool.
Awesome job, man.
Yeah, stuff's still popping.
Oh yeah. Well, Chris is continuing to find some very cool stuff here.
I cleaned this one up a bit before you came over.
Yeah.
It looks like a rose. Oh, is it up?
Dude, you got the huge compact last time we were out here.
Yeah,
over at the courthouse.
That's right, yeah.
So now you got another one, same size. It's got a rose and a stem. Have anything on it?
It looked like it said not Limoges, that'd be nice. Landshire, maybe? It's real faint, but you can make out some kind of name there.
Well, I never did Chris again.
No idea. there is design all the way around it.
Huh.
These are like little hinges, and this fin, I guess you'd say, would pop up
Yeah,
and swing.
Kind of reminds you of a sundial, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was.
What's the other side look? It's kind of a bezel.
It's got teeth on it.
Escutcheon, I mean, or I don't know.
Very weird. My favorite find today so far.
That's very cool.
It's neat.
Well, Chris and I were both kind of stumped with that find. When he came up and showed it to me, we weren't really quite sure what it was. And when we got home, Chris gave me a call and said, hey man, I think it's part of a portable sundial. And I got online later that evening, and sure enough, that's exactly what it was. Neither of us had ever found any of those before, so I wanted to do some research on it. Now, the very first portable sundial emerged in the 1500s, and they were called sundial rings. And the funny thing is I've actually found one. Now, I used to hunt in Germany a long time ago, back in the 80s, and when I lived there for 6 years, and I was very fortunate to actually have dug one of the very first portable sundials. And here's a picture of the one that I found all those years ago. Now, as you can see, they were usually worn with a string or a leather string around the neck, and it's suspended by that loop that you saw. And basically they were held, and there was a little hole or slit there where the sunlight would go through, and it would hit the numbers on the inside. And it gave them a rough estimate of the time of day. Now, they weren't very accurate, and they were only good on the latitude from which they were made. Now, eventually, someone came up with the idea to merge the sundial, which had its roots all the way back into ancient times, with the compass, which the Chinese had invented around 400 BC. Now, these new pocket or portable sundial and compass combinations were called the Weldon compass, and these emerged in the early 1600s. Now, George Washington even carried one of these portable sundials and compass combinations with him. Matter of fact, the one he carried with him was made of solid silver and was actually bought by Ben Franklin as a gift for him when Ben Franklin was in Paris serving as an American emissary in France. So through the 1800s, carrying a pocket sundial and compass combination was actually very common. You might ask yourself, what phased them out? And the answer to that is the train. With the emergence of the train and railways spreading across the country, it required a much more accurate measure of time required to keep the train schedule. And the use of the electric telegraph to establish the Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT, it quickly made the sundials obsolete. And it brought on the newest fad, carrying a pocket watch. Well, I switched over to my small coil because there's so much garbage in here, and I was picking through it, and I got a kind of a weedy signal. Might have been even like zinc, you know, right in that area. But really surprised me. It was just under the dirt, and that's how it lays. Check it out. It's a two-piece button, but I am not familiar with this button. It's got an eagle sitting on top of a shield. Looks like castle walls down at the bottom of the shield, and some kind of rays coming out of the center of the shield. So I don't know if it's engineers or what, but it's a two-piece button, silver plated. I believe it's marked Waterbury on the back. It definitely has some age to it. So I'm gonna have to see if I can figure this one out. Awesome piece, though. It's got a nice weight to it and everything, but what a cool button. Chris just walked across the field and dropped this one on me.
It was worth the 300 feet to walk.
Yeah.
A red Indian.
Oh, my day.
06.
He almost had the oldest coin.
I know, 1 year off.
I'm still reigning oldest coin champion today.
I gotta clean that off, but I think they know what the back of it looks like.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. We'll get it cleaned up later and give you a better look at that one. But very cool. We've got a bunch of early Wheaties, V-nickel, and Indian.
Handful of Wheaties so far.
And a silver rosy.
Yeah.
All right, cool deal, man.
Nice.
Well, got a signal, and I found something I've never found before. Got a signal, and it popped out right here, and I picked it up and I took a look at it. Man, it looked like some kind of washers. I didn't think much of it. I just flipped it over for the heck of it, and I thought I saw a little bit of something on here, and I got the brush out. And unbelievably, it's a 1939 Lincoln wheat penny in this holder. I don't even know what kind of holder it is. It's very odd. It's a very interesting find, and a bit of a surprise when I flipped it over. But you never know what's going to come out of that hole. Well, Chris called me over once again.
That's a cool looking piece of a pocket watch.
Oh, that is nice.
It's still got the spindle.
And the winder.
Winder, thank you.
Yeah.
It's getting hot.
Nice bezel.
See some gold gilt coming through.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty.
It's got a little braided rope pattern on. See if I can get that to focus in. Wow. Definitely has some age to it. Kind of a smaller pocket watch, too.
I bet it had a real pretty dial on it.
And the casing was probably pretty fancy since this bezel is.
I wonder if it was woman's. That size.
Yeah, could have been a woman's. Very cool. I like it.
Pretty neat.
Well, Chris is definitely happy right now. He even said he was looking for one today. And
we saw it for sure. We popped it.
That is crazy.
Look at it, 1940.
We popped this out of the clod, and tell me that doesn't look like a Glad Gordon. But it isn't.
It is. It's got to be burnt.
Yeah, they may have had a fire here.
Oh, there's some showing.
But it's not melted or anything.
No.
But that is
one tarnished 1940
silver quarter.
Oh, I'm happy. It has been a long time.
Get a little rub on that, get the silver to come through.
Yeah.
We honestly thought that was going to be clad. Well, awesome, man. That's 2 silver for you today.
Yeah, big one too.
And an Indian. I just got a pretty cool little 1225 signal, and I pulled out this really cool hinge from this yard of the little Victorian place. But I like that. Pretty cool shape. A lot of interesting relics coming out today. Well, Chris has been killing it all day long.
Some decent coins coming out.
Well, there you go.
57 Rosie. No mint mark.
Sweet. Another silver coin. Another silver for Chris. What is that, 3?
Yeah, it's not a bad day.
Yeah, 45 cents in silver.
Yep. That is, isn't it?
Well, that felt really good getting back out there and digging holes and finding really cool relics. And hope you really enjoyed that video. And don't go away just yet. I have some pretty cool historical photos coming up in just about 20 seconds. I want to thank you all for coming by. And as I always say, history makes a find a treasure. And I cannot wait to see you next time on Finding America.